In Betheltown, Westmoreland, tragedy struck early Monday morning as a man lost his life in a harrowing incident. Identified as 23-year-old Anthony Evans, also known as AJ, he worked as a laborer in Argyle Mountain. The fatal event occurred at 1:30 a.m. According to police reports, Evans and his 17-year-old girlfriend were in their modest one-room dwelling with the door ajar. Suddenly, 3 individuals masquerading as law enforcement officers and brandishing handguns appeared on their veranda, shouting police. In a desperate bid for safety, the teen concealed herself beneath the bed, while Evans approached the entrance. Tragically, a deafening blast rang out moments later, followed by a barrage of gunfire as the assailants forced their way in. The perpetrators swiftly fled on foot towards Betheltown after committing the heinous act. Upon the authorities' arrival, Evans was discovered lying in a pool of blood with fatal wounds to his upper body. Transported to Savannah-Lamar Public General Hospital, Evans was pronounced dead shortly after. As investigations continue, the community grapples with the shock and grief of this senseless loss. Tragedy befell the Commodore District of Linstead in St. Catherine late Monday night when 50-year-old Georgia Dworka was fatally shot by unidentified assailants, marking the 3rd gun-related fatality in the area within 3 weeks. According to police reports, residents heard gunfire around 11:30 p.m. Upon investigation, Dworka was discovered lying in a pool of blood inside her home. She was pronounced dead at Linstead Hospital shortly thereafter. The motive behind the murder remains unknown. Just days before her untimely demise, Dworka was seen actively engaging with law enforcement, including Superintendent Hopeton Nicholson, during a community walkthrough on Friday. She had expressed her support for the increased police presence and interaction. It's a positive step for the community because what we need here is more of this kind of community policing, where the police engage with residents to root out negativity, Dworka remarked in an interview. Unfortunately, there's still stigma attached to those who collaborate with the police, but it's time for people to overcome that and embrace cooperation. The community remains tense as authorities continue to investigate Dworka's murder and the broader uptick in violence. On Friday, Superintendent Nicholson publicly named Glendon Amos, alias Bull, as a wanted individual in connection with multiple crimes, including shootings in the Linstead vicinity. Nicholson urged Amos to surrender himself immediately and cautioned that harboring him would constitute a serious offense. A Dutch national found himself in custody at Sangster International Airport after authorities reportedly discovered cocaine valued at over $28 million in his possession. With no connections in Jamaica, Patrick Anthony Crawford, a 44-year-old carpenter and construction worker from Rotterdam, faced confinement in the Freeport lockup. Charged with possession, dealing, attempted export, and conspiracy to export cocaine, Crawford appeared in St. James Parish Court before Judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton. Represented by his lawyer Henry McCurdy, bail wasn't pursued due to Crawford's lack of citizenship or ties to Jamaica. The judge, therefore, ordered Crawford to remain in custody until June 10, when the case resumes. Allegations suggest that on May 9, while in line for a TUI flight to Brussels, Belgium, authorities questioned and inspected Crawford's luggage. 4 rectangular packages, containing a white, powdery substance suspected to be cocaine, were found concealed in 2 compartments within his carry-on. Further inspection of his checked baggage unveiled similar packages, totaling an estimated 13.5 pounds of the illicit substance. Crawford was subsequently arrested and charged. A shooting at a popular bar in Grants Pen, St. Andrew late Tuesday evening, has resulted in at least 1 fatality and multiple injuries. The deceased, known only by the alias Kim, has been identified. Reports indicate that masked gunmen stormed the establishment shortly before 10 p.m. while patrons were gathered, unleashing a barrage of gunfire. Numerous individuals were reportedly shot during the chaos. Witnesses from the community describe hearing screams and gunshots resembling explosions emanating from the bar. Authorities are currently investigating the incident. Residents of Sandy Park in Kingston were left in disbelief when a man was fatally shot inside his home on Tuesday evening, sending shockwaves through the community. The victim, known only as Damien, was a 29-year-old cash pot operator well known within the neighborhood. According to reports, the tragic incident occurred around 11 p.m. while Damien was at home, a bullet piercing through his window. Residents, grappling with a recent surge in violence, expressed profound sadness at Damien's untimely demise. He wasn't a troublemaker. He was just a young man who went to school and later ran a business here, shared one resident, reflecting on Damien's character. Another added, he was a quiet guy who attended Charlie Smith, a good young man. He never sought conflict with anyone. The loss of Damien has left the community mourning as they come to terms with the tragedy that has befallen one of their own.